This study aimed to explore the relationship between parent, child, family and environmental factors on Australian families headed by parents with intellectual disability. This diagram here is a model that I proposed to test. My theory was that SES, or socioeconomic status in the family, social support and parent mental health would impact on parenting and parenting practices, and that parenting would have a direct impact on child functioning or child well-being in this population. So a couple of major conclusions from the study. Consistent with the general parenting literature, parenting by parents with an intellectual disability has a proximal influence on kids. So parents are important to children. Thank goodness, we're all justified in what we do now working with parents. Has some important implications for interventions too, because we now know where to intervene, where it's important to intervene in the work that we're doing. If we want to impact on child outcomes, we need to provide parenting interventions. We need to target parent involvement, time spent with child, doing activities with the child, teaching the parent how to play. We need to target parenting warmth, how to be positive, how to smile at the child, how to interact in a positive way. But we also importantly need to help the parent to feel good at parenting, help them feel efficacious about what they're doing. So that's the most important intervention point. Parent mental health and access to support are also things we need to consider as practitioners. We need to consider, are there supports available within the family to this parent? If not, do we need to seek them from elsewhere? Is there a mental health issue that we need to consider? So those things are important, but not proximally, not closely important to child outcomes. And neighbourhood disadvantage is important again, but one step removed again, if you like. And the influence that it has is on how much supports are available. So where you live determines how much support you get. So a lot of these results are consistent with the general parenting literature. So that's good that we're not talking about a group of parents who are vastly different from the rest of the population. But what we do know is that these parents do tend to experience more disadvantages, particularly in where they live and the access to support that they have. One of the other findings of this population from this sample was that a lot of parents were single parents. More than 25% of them were single parents. They often don't have partners, they don't have grandparent support, they don't come from families where there's lots of parenting support from uncles and aunties and everybody coming over. What they do tend to have is sometimes an oversupply of formal supports, but that did depend on where you lived. I mean, one of the most interesting findings to me was the role that parent efficacy played, because usually in the general parenting literature you see it the other way. How good a parent feels about themselves determines how warm they are, how involved, how much time they spend with the child, but it doesn't seem to be the case. And one theory is that it's about these parents not knowing what to do, therefore not feeling efficacious, not knowing how to be warm, not having had experience with lots of kids, not having, not really understanding about getting down and playing on the floor and getting grubby and using Play-Doh and getting in the sandpit with kids. And a lot of what we do in parenting young children is to teach parents play skills, teach parents that it's okay to get down, it's normal, it's acceptable for an adult to get down on the floor and play with kids. So I'm very interested in exploring this direct influence of parent efficacy on child well-being, because that's unusual compared to the general parenting literature. And it's exploring more about why these parents feel so bad about their parenting.